Hey everyone, this is my Module 10 response. This is my student, my sister Claire, and my lesson is going to be geared toward kindergarteners, and we're learning about basic weather conditions. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up our Safari, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up a series of pictures, and I'm going to go ahead and ask a few students on what they think the weather is doing outside right now. So, Claire, what weather would you describe happening outside right now?
Cloudy.
Perfect. It is cloudy outside. And we know that it's cloudy outside because we do not see the sun and we only see clouds outside in the sky. All right, guys. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we are going to pull up a weather game that we have here. And this is going to help us do some basic identifying of weather and weather conditions and how we would identify them outside. So this question states, during what season would you wear a hat, scarf, gloves, and a heavy coat? We're going to go ahead and go through the list and describe each of the weather situations that is would it be occurring in a specific season and kind of narrow it down and see what we can identify what this weather condition would be. So first we have spring. Spring is typically comes after winter and before summer. So it's not terribly hot, but it also is not terribly cold. You typically wear jackets. And we see a lot of rain that happens outside as well. So I'm not thinking that it's the springtime. Next, our season is summer. Summer tends to be more of a warm climate, and we do a lot of playing outside. We don't have school then, which is also very exciting. So I don't really believe that we will wear a hat and gloves and scarf and a heavy coat during that season. And finally, the last one is winter. Winter is going to be definitely a lot more colder. It's when it snows. And so I think that winter is what we're going to go ahead and go with for the season that we would have that particular clothing for. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next question. Which of these sports would be best in the winter? Downhill skiing, water skiing, or golf? Water skiing, I don't think we would do that in the winter because the water is typically frozen. So I think we should go with downhill skiing, which is what we typically do in the winter time. All right, now what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you guys go ahead and take your Chromebooks for a couple minutes and go ahead and pull this game up on your Chromebook, and it is going to be right there. It should be right there on your guys' desktop. So I'm going to have you guys go ahead and click on that, and then you guys can either work in teams or work individually and work on this game. And if you guys have any questions, so when we are done and you guys have completed your assignments, or your quiz here, I would like you all to go ahead and look back up at the screen. And we're going to talk about the importance of why plants need water and why it's really beneficial for the plants in our region, since we come from the Midwest, why it's a big thing for us and why it's a big thing for agricultural people in our area as well. All right, now, can anyone tell me in this picture what these plants need specifically?
Water.
Exactly, they do need water. This is a picture of plants that are in a drought. You guys can go ahead and see here how the ground is cracked and how it's kind of falling apart. It's because it doesn't have that water there to keep it together, and it doesn't have the water to give the plants to grow. Being from the Midwest, we are we come from a very big group of people who farm, and that's how they make their money. So in order for farmers to continue farming, they need water. They need it to rain so that these plants can go ahead and grow and flourish, and so that they can later sell them in this later on in the season, so they can go ahead and make a living for themselves. I will go ahead and show you guys a picture of crops that are not in drought. And what they're supposed to look like. All right, so this is corn, which is a very, very largely grown plant here in the Midwest. If you guys go ahead and take a look at this picture here, you guys can see that this dirt here is more put together and it's not cracked. So this is kind of more what we want to see our fields look like. And this is where the rain comes in, and why it's so important for the rain to be here during the season, so the farmers are able to grow these crops and make them look more like this instead of brown and droopy and they don't grow as tall, stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pass you guys out a 10-question exam on weather cycles that we have read about crops here in our area, and also you guys might see a few more questions that arise on the test that you guys perhaps did see on your online test quiz that game that you guys played, your weather game. And when you guys are done completing that, you guys can go ahead and set it on my desk, and we will be ready to move on for our next unit. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can go ahead and raise your hand, and I'll be more than happy to come around and help you. The quiz is not timed, so you guys go ahead and take your time, and I will go ahead and grade those when you guys are finished.